Hey guys, so this is a no-nonsense agency scaling video of how to get your Smma to 10,000 a month or more and beyond. I've actually done it twice now, so the first time was with a Facebook ad agency serving e-commerce clients, and then I eventually obviously pivoted to a completely different service, which was email marketing. So I've managed to do this twice, so I feel like my methods work really well, especially getting to that first 10K month mark. So yeah. Buy my course, link in the description below. Anyways, just kidding, obviously. I don't even find these jokes funny anymore. But here's the scenario. Let me paint this picture in your head, right? You have a couple clients already, but you're finding it tough because you absolutely hate outreach. And every time you've tried to outsource this, like booking rates, supply rates, everything just goes straight down the toilet. I don't know if you've ever had this situation happen to you before, but I know I definitely have, and I've managed to kind of overcome it. And you know, when you try to sell your service, you always have this like invisible cap in the back of your head of thinking oh my god, like we already have 5 clients, are we gonna be able to deliver the quality of service that I want to deliver to the next one? Are we able to fulfill at the same rate, to the same standards? And you know, just like, can we get people results if we exceed this number of clients? I've been there. It's a pain in the ass, honestly. Like when you're trying to sell a prospect, knowing full well that you can help them, but just thinking, oh, in the back of your head, like, you know, maybe I have too many clients and I wouldn't really have time to serve this one. It's really tough, and then it's kind of like a weird, like negative cycle of thinking then, oh, do I even want to outreach? I know that's honestly limited me in the past a lot as well. So how do you actually scale your agency past this 10K a month or get very close to it? Well, you really need to have 2 things dialed in. Number 1 being acquisition, and number 2 being fulfillment. So acquisition is the method in which you get clients, and fulfillment is obviously how you actually deliver the service. Easier said than done, right? Like if I just said, oh yeah, you only need 2 things to build a successful agency, like that's obviously a lie. But yeah, it's easier said than done, but it's really simple when it comes down to it if you really think about it, right? Because there's really 2 branches, like 2 parts when it comes to acquisition. Number 1 being appointment setting, number 2 being sales. And in my opinion, in the beginning, the thing that you want to be fixing the most is appointment setting. But it's no secret, to be honest, like appointment setting is just getting harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder in the e-commerce space. I don't really understand any other niches. And even with like the best systems out there, you're gonna get a few appointments, but like, for example, right, if I took the same systems I have now and applied it early last year, I would have crushed it. Like it would have been deadly, right? Because just like how in video games, meta changes, the meta in the game of like appointment setting and lead generation changes as well. Like the method right now that seems to be working the best for cold outreach is just looms. But even then, in a highly competitive niche like e-commerce, it's gonna get sucked dry, right? So you need to build essentially like a bulletproof system to scale up the volume and maintain quality. And that's the tricky part when it comes to appointment setting at the moment. So yeah, some general pointers for this would obviously be to, make your outreach stand out. Personally, I always prefer quality over quantity nowadays, because there's gonna be always maybe like 10% of the brands that I outreach to that I actually really want to work with, and the rest 90 are kind of just like, oh yeah, we could definitely help them and we can do it to a very high standard. But you know, there are some brands that you're just like dying to work with, right? And for those brands, if you just really personally reach out to the founders, you'll be surprised at the success rate. Like for example, a few days ago I sent over a video outreach to basically this YouTuber who's starting his own brand that I've watched for a few years, and I really like the guy. So I was like, hey, you want to work together on this? Let's jump on a call. And literally within 30 minutes, I was able to get on a call with him. I'm not capping here, right? But for every one of these like golden stories, there's probably like 10, 20 outreaches in the past that I did where everything was just like, I just got completely ghosted. I guess another tip would be, it's actually a volume game at the moment, but quality still does matter. I don't know if I'm summing it up very well. But yeah, anyways. Oh, by the way, just to give you a benchmark of what is actually good in e-commerce, if you can get between a 2 to 3% booking rate with your cold email, it's pretty solid. That's like pretty average nowadays. Most people actually hover around the 0.5 to 1% range. And if you can just get 2 to 3 meetings for every 100 you send out, it's already pretty good, just because, I mean, with e-commerce, my closing rate is stupid high because I have like case studies to back it up and I know my stuff when it comes to email marketing. Anyways, so when it comes to the fulfillment aspect, here's where you really want to be like productizing your service to the point where you only need to pass it to a team and everything else gets addressed. Because right now I feel like the main bottleneck for most agencies out there is actually their sales. They can't actually generate enough volume of revenue for their team to handle. And obviously that's a bigger problem to solve than fulfillment, because without the sale, there is nothing to fulfill, right? So the reason why you also want to be productizing your service is because then you can actually fix the price point. And the benefit of fixing the price point is then you can actually scale sales teams with it. So as in, hire other people to sell the service for you, because there's not really like a way that you can kind of like do variable pricing if the salesperson doesn't intimately understand the way your own business works. The only time I've kind of seen variable pricing work with an agency that has like a sales staff is actually by another email agency, and the way they price is they have like tiers, right? So at a certain revenue point, this client would pay them X. And that's how they price, and it was laid out neatly in a table so the sales rep knew exactly what was going on. So yeah, when it comes to fulfillment, as I said, productizing really does matter. Now, if you don't really have if you have less than, I guess, 2 clients or 2 clients, 3 clients, you don't really need to think about productization too much. Just focus on delivering the best damn quality of work you can. It's really only when you want to cross that 10 to 20K barrier, that's when you really want to be productizing and thinking about how you can standardize the way you deliver to clients. And this is where I kind of made a realization in my journey. And this is where, in my opinion, having a co-founder actually makes sense, right? Trying to juggle appointment setting, sales, and fulfillment at the same time for one person, it's tough, right? So if you have a co-founder, one person could be in charge of sales and then the other person could be in charge of fulfillment, client satisfaction, things like that. If you're able to dial in the roles within your own business, this is a scalable way to grow. And that's super, super important, because at some point you're gonna enter like a crossroad, right? Either you could just stay the same and stick with done for you, or you really productize your done for you and outsource it basically 100%. And this is where real freedom kind of gets unlocked. I had a period last year where I was deluded thinking I had real freedom, when really it was more of like a ticking time bomb, right? So last year for about, I'd say like maybe 6-8 weeks max, I was working like maybe 4 hours a week, right? I was living the dream life, I was making a ton of money, agency was growing. But then the reason why I say I was deluded was because I didn't productize the service. So I had no real kind of systems. I was under the delusion of, hey, I have a business that runs itself, when really it was all of the effort and the work I had put in months prior that was running the business while I was kind of on holiday. And then obviously that bombshell blew up, and had to basically restart. So I know this video has been a complete mess, but it's just literally because I haven't really made an agency growth video in a very long time. And yeah, like the whole model, I still really, really love it. I think it's a service-based model for someone starting out. I think it's probably the best way to go about it. But yeah, anyways, once you productize your service, you, in my opinion, and this is where I'm talking about like theory now, right? This is the stuff that I actually haven't implemented just yet, because you need to do things in a specific order. So it just hasn't come time for me to do this, but this is basically the next thing on my to-dos list after I complete my current project. So essentially, to scale, you need to have systems and basically systemize any recurring tasks within your business. Essentially, the reason why you want to do this is because you don't want to be making the same decisions over and over again, because that's a huge waste of time and that's how you don't scale, right? So for example, hiring. Once you hire a person once, as in once you hire for that role once, you need to make sure you need to create hiring templates so that you could just snap a finger or tell like your assistant to execute this template and you'll be able to hire another person in no time. Why is this super important? Well, because posting like a job on a job board and then doing that 10 times over is very, very time consuming. And the reason why you want to systemize it and have someone else do it is because imagine you're actually building a piece of software, right? And that's your business. And imagine every time you wanted to perform a function, you needed to code it over like from scratch again. How time consuming is that? It's gonna take brain power, because you're gonna think, oh, is this loop the right place to put it? Is this the one, is this a variable that I want to be using? Is this a data type, data structures, right? You don't want to recode it again. You just want to write the function, and then next time you just want to execute it from a library. Right, you just want to import, execute. And it's the same kind of concept in business, right? Once you do something once, you want to just be able to snap your fingers and it's done. Or for example, onboarding your clients in your business. Once you onboard them once, you need to structure it in a way where they can be onboarded pretty much automatically. Now, if this sounds really overwhelming to you, it probably should be, just because I knew I was super overwhelmed, because when I first started business, I was like, oh yeah, 10K a month, I'll be the happiest person alive. And then when I got to that point, I was like, oh shit, like there's so much more work to do. Damn, like I've never been more stressed, like trying to scale from where I'm at now to around the 100K a month mark. Never been more stressed. But you know, it's a fun journey at the end of the day, and we choose to do this to ourselves, so it's fine. Anyways, so if you actually want some help along the way, I no longer offer any agency mentorships, just because I want to keep that side of things to myself and just really focus on my own agency. But I have partnered with a program called Imperium Agency. I was actually a client of theirs first, and then I asked to partner up with them because I really love what they have to offer, and I really can't recommend them enough. So if you want to get some help scaling your own agency from me, but obviously I don't do it anymore, the next best thing would be to work with them because they're someone that I really trust. If you want to scale past the 10K mark, then book in a call with one of their co-founders, Charles. They give a pretty cool guarantee, so you know, you're in good hands. Now, disclaimer, obviously I am incentivized to promote this to you. I do get a kickback if you sign up. As I said, they have a guarantee, so might as well take the call, right? Alright guys, hope you found this little ramble on video fun to watch at least. This was basically unscripted and like it just lacked structure, to be honest, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there, and since it's an SMMA video, I wanted to have a bit more fun with it and be a bit more transparent. So yeah, we'll be posting more e-commerce marketing videos shortly. Thank you for watching. If you still are, have a good one. Bye.